There we are. We are live. Good morning, everybody. How are you this morning in our Confident Successful Business Owners group? Now, just bear with me while I'm setting up to make sure that I can see all your comments. Yes, we're live. Yay. All the techie stuff works. That makes me happy. Yay. Now, beautiful people, as usual, we're coming live on our Thursday morning with our Business Members Spotlight, where we interview one of the members in the group to highlight and share what they do in their business. So today, I would love to introduce you to the wonderful Mary-Anne Bennett. How are you, my darling?
I am wonderful. It is lovely to speak to you today.
It is amazing. So I love these conversations. I love learning about the members of our group. So I would love to know all about what you do, Mary-Anne, and how it is that you came to be doing what you're doing.
Well, obviously, I'm a clinical nutritionist, and I work with women to get on top of long-term chronic health issues. Sometimes it's, can anything be anything. I work with fertility. I work with women that have spent their whole life looking after other people and now need someone to help them look after themselves, which is I'm really passionate about. I grew up in a household with five girls and mum and just one.
Wow.
And it was like crazy feminine energy, and I absolutely loved it. Growing up, I loved it. But what we'll realise is that my mother didn't look after herself and died really early. So it was like, for me, I never really thought about my health. I'd always worked really hard, brought up my 4 kids, became a grandparent at 39, and really never thought about my health because I'd always been healthy. But in the mid-2000s, my health started I was tired all the time, but I was working shift work. I was looking after kids. I didn't really think about it. But by the time I got to 2010, I was just sick as a dog. I could barely get out of bed. Got diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 2011. And the doctor just said to me, here's some medication, go home and live with it for the rest of your life. And I went, wow, hell no. I spent 6 months wondering where I could go, who I could talk to, and spent the next 5 years going back and forth to doctors and really specialists and practitioners and really got nowhere. So decided that, what could I do? And then I heard an ad on the radio, let's go and study nutrition. So in 2015, the year after I turned the ripe old age of 50, I enrolled to go to uni. I got to premise that with, I hadn't studied since I left school at 16 and a half when I was pregnant. So I had my first child at 17. So I hadn't studied since I was 16. And I have to say, I wasn't a really good student either. I didn't really I enjoyed writing and reading, but I didn't enjoy people. There was not a lot I enjoyed about learning. And I went, oh my God, what have I done? It was like stupid. Like I drove home after, I went to their open day, signed up on the spot and went, oh my God, what have I done? Like it was a year my youngest daughter was 20. I had 3 grandkids by then and I'm going, well, what have I done? Like really? I've done this? And then 2015, I thought my health couldn't get worse. But I ended up having 5 lots of surgery and being the sickest I'd ever been in my life, but I still managed to study. I still managed to, do all my assignments. I got a couple of deferrals on exams, and I really loved what I was doing. And what I did it for was to enable myself to learn about the human body so I could heal myself.
Nice.
No intention at all of going into business. Because my husband is a little bit older than me and he was planning retirement soon. I didn't know when soon was. And however, that turned out to be 6 months before I finished my uni degree. My husband retired. So we had all these retirement plans, like, being a great nomad, traveling around, fishing and camping and all that sort of stuff. And he went, well, what now? You can't start a business. What are we going to do? I said, we'll just have to be organised. So, but at some point in that time of studying, I realised that there were all these women out there, and it is women that I work with, that, mothers, sisters, daughters, your best friend, who were stuck in the same place as I was, had been gradually getting sicker, or, just like fatigues, no energy, not sleeping well, and really didn't get any joy from the doctors. And I went, well, what if I can help just one person get their health back like I did? And I went, and so I decided to start a business. Like, who knew? I had no idea about business, I have to say. So it's been a very steep learning curve, but a really, really joyful one so far.
That is absolutely amazing, Mary-Anne. And I think I say this every single week, is I love to hear the journey that people go on, and it's not only what am I trying to say? It's not, we don't go into business just because we can. That's most people. That's what I'm learning, is we don't do it just for the fun of it. We do it because we have a passion for it. And as you were just talking, I'm feeling your passion, because you started, and like you said, you started off for yourself, and so now it's something that's gradually grown into a business. So I'm curious. So why have you chosen? And you did mention that you grew up in a house full of women, which would have been a lot of fun. Why have you chosen to work with women in particular? Is that because that's what you understand, or?
No, I think I relate well to women. It's because when I looked back at all the things that I had done, when I started learning, I started learning about all the things about the human body and all about diet and life, because it's about lifestyle and stress and all those things. And I saw the patterns in my family. So I saw the things my mother did. She smoked and she drank, and we didn't eat very healthy. She didn't exercise. But she did her really good job of looking after us. And what I realised was women never put themselves first, never ever put their health at the top of the priority list ever. And we care for everybody else, but we never care for ourselves. And it's women health can be very complex. And because women and hormones, it's like, it's the most complex. I mean, men, yes, they get chronic health issues, but women put up with it because, oh no, I've got something else to do. I'm too busy. I've got to look after the kids. And for me, it was, I grew up and I had kids, but then when my youngest child was 9, I became a grandparent. So then I had by the time my youngest daughter left home, I had 3 grandchildren. My husband had 3 grandchildren as well. So it was, I realized that I'd never looked after myself. So there was all these other women out there that were doing the same. They were just putting one foot after the other. It didn't matter how bad they felt in the mornings. They would just get up and do, basically live on autopilot like I did. So I realized that, and then I started meeting women that were sick and had no idea about who could help them. So I just went, well, we know, I've got a wonderful husband, a couple of wonderful sons, but women really are the center of a family. And if you can help one woman get her health back, that can then impact everybody in that family, not just you, the woman. It can impact the husband, affect the husband. You ask any husband whose wife is not very well or has got mood swings, he will probably give the shirt off his back for his wife to feel better, or his sister or his mother. You know what I mean? So it's about how is it we can have a ripple and it's about a ripple effect. And when you have that ripple effect with one woman and one family, that ripples down to these women have children who have families of their own. They can teach their daughters to actually take care. And that's what I'm learning now, is that I'm having the impact on these women, my clients' lives, but it's having a downstream effect on their adult daughters now. So they're going, well, to the point where one of my clients has sent her daughter to me. And now, I mean, it's not that I don't see men, because, I can help anybody. So this lady's daughter's now seeing me, and I'm now seeing this lady, the daughter's husband as well, because they've, from what the mother's done, realised the importance, because they've got a 1-year-old, the importance of both of them being healthy for their child and for the rest of their life. So it's a ripple effect, and that's what I believe I'm here. I always knew my whole life that their mothering was the thing that I loved. I mean, I've always loved it. I love being a mother and a grandmother. But I knew that there was something underneath, something else I was put on this earth to do. And I really didn't know what that was until I discovered natural health. And then went, oh my God, this is it. This is the way that I can help other people. This is the way I can make a difference. And it's about that ripple effect. It's about one person at a time will change a family, a community, you know, and it's just going to keep going. So I've got big plans, big dreams.
I can tell, and you keep saying the word ripple effect, and I 100% agree with that. And sometimes, like you said, as women, we put everybody else first. I mean, I raised my children as a single mum, so there were times when because of the circumstances, I was unable to afford food or much food, so I would feed my kids first. But the irony of that is, because I wasn't looking after my health, and I'm sure I'm not the only one in the group who have experienced anything like this, because I wasn't looking after my own health first, I wasn't, like you say, it's the opposite ripple effect. So my health was suffering, so I wasn't able to look after my kids as well as I could, even though my heart, and this is what I think, with women, our heart's in the right place, but we ignore our own health. And it's so important that we bring it back to ourselves. You think?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's we bring our children into the world and then we want to do the best for them. We can't not do the best for them. However, it's often at the detriment of our own health.
Yes, absolutely. Wow. So you mentioned some ways that you, some kinds of things that you help people with. So you said fertility. What other kinds of, if you're able to share, what other kinds of things have you helped women with?
I see a lot of women with autoimmune diseases, thyroid, rheumatoid arthritis, a lot of connective tissue disorders, which are all related, of course. Yeah. I see a lot of women with hormonal weight gain, either in perimenopause or menopause, all the things that are hormone related. But a lot of what I see is just women just generally unwell, just generally getting more and more fatigued, more and more unwell, and just really, there's nothing showing on their blood tests. The doctor will tell them the blood tests are normal. The blood tests are normal. Well, there's nothing wrong with you. But the woman knows, they get, as women, I don't know if it's just women, but my experience as a woman, going to a GP and saying to you, oh, well, I feel like, I feel bad, what can you do? I will just test your blood. It's all in the range. I watched a webinar the other day and we're talking about blood tests, right? So your blood tests are anywhere in the range, but the range is like this. It's from the sickest person to the most amazingly healthy person in the world. And if you're anywhere in that range, well, what does that really mean? So signs and symptoms are the first way you can tell that the body is starting to struggle. There's already a level of dysfunction. It's starting to not operate properly. And if you leave them long enough, what you're going to do is get a chronic disease. But what I'm trying to achieve, what I've done a lot of is for the women so far is what I did for myself is that I say that my journey now helps other people. What I've done, I just put people through the same type of protocols, the same type of investigations that I did to learn what is actually going on. So to get down to that really deep root cause of what's dysfunctioning, and then how do we then build that up, and a lot of that for women is hormonal related, so, but I do also see women that in their 30s struggling with fertility. The doctors tells them everything normal. I had one client go through IVF 4 times and then come and see me, and 9 months later got pregnant by herself. I've got 2 pregnant clients at the moment, and one other who's just done 3 rounds of IVF and now come to see me to see if we can get her healthy enough to try and conceive naturally. It's women, it's my passion to help women have the best health they're possible, because we're led to believe as a society, whether you're a male or a female, to believe that chronic illness is a part of getting older. Well, that's a load of BS. It really is. Anybody, I mean, we have people in our world that live to 100.
Yeah.
Why do they do that? Because they've either, they could have really good genes.
That would be.
Diet and lifestyle. Most of them have looked after themselves. There's something in their genetics, but there's something in their life that has meant that they've taken really good care of themselves. Because one of the things I do with a lot of my chronically ill clients is do DNA testing. So what we're looking for is see if there's any genetic predisposition for the reason why they're sick, and then go from there. Because a lot of them have already had a million tests by a million different doctors and practitioners. Everyone says, oh, everything's fine. Or one practitioner will say, oh, your gut's bad, we'll do this. That's all I can do. So it's about putting all the pieces of someone's puzzle together. Sometimes they've had the testing, sometimes they haven't. And then I just use that to go, well, where is that showing me that, where we need to start? Because one of the things I did when I on my health journey is I started learning about genes and genetics at uni. So I had my genes tested in 2016, because I've got all these chronic health issues. Like my father and mother both died of really early from cardiovascular disease, heart attack and stuff. I've got diabetes and, autoimmune diseases and arthritis and all these other things in my family. I'm going, well, I don't actually have any of those, but I have other things. What if there's a link in my genes? So I went, I'll do my gene testing and see. And oh my God, it was just amazing. It was there was all the information. I could see why. And then I tested my daughters and my sisters, because my sister's got chronic health issues. And oh my God, there they all were, all the signs. So what happens with your genes is you can't change them. You get them from your parents. And they only give you that increased risk of having a chronic health issue.
Doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get it.
Yeah, what piles on top of that, what actually activates those genes and makes you ill is your diet and lifestyle. So you still have to do those diet and lifestyle changes, but looking at genes can really be useful.
Oh, that is powerful stuff. My God, listen, I'm normally I'm thinking of questions to ask you, but I'm literally sitting here. I'm just fascinated by what you're sharing. Oh, that's really funny. So, do you see people now? I know we were just discussing this before we came on for the interview. So, now you're located here in South Australia. So, are you seeing people currently in house, or are you online, or how do you help your clients in that aspect?
I do a combination of both. I see a lot of my local clients here in South Australia, in Adelaide. But no, I've got one in Wollongong. I've got a couple in South Australia that are down at Lucindale and Narracourt. I've got one in Sydney. Last year I had one in Darwin. So it doesn't matter where you are. I haven't had any international. I've had a few international inquiries. Haven't had any international clients yet. That I tend to go global.
I like that. Yes.
But yeah, online, in person, whichever. And even some of my local clients choose to do online because it's easier than having to trap the kids, trying to find a babysitter, trying to fit that in their already amazingly busy schedule. So, one of my clients lives 5 minutes from here, but she's got to drive 20 minutes to get her kids to school. So she will book an appointment so that the appointment finishes just before she has to leave. But if she had to leave from here, that would take her another 20 minutes to get to the school. So I'm happy to accommodate them however they want.
Love that, Mary-Anne. So tell our members how, if they want to learn more about you or even book in a session with you, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, my business is Adelaide Nutrition and Wellbeing. You can find me on Facebook. You can go onto my website, also the same, adelaidenutritionandwellbeing.com.au. You can book in for, I offer a free 30-minute consult to have a discussion about your health, to see whether we're a good fit. So see whether what I'm offering will work for you, or whether you like me or not. Because, you know, I'm not one of those people that, you know, everyone's going to like me. I'm very opinionated, and I'm a bit bossy as a practitioner. I tiptoe around my clients, and then sometimes I go, well, no, you're not doing what you're told. You know, just do it. Also on LinkedIn, if anyone wants to connect to anybody's on LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn, Mary-Anne Bennett. Or you can find me on Instagram at Nutwell. So yeah.
Beautiful. No worries. I can see all those links are going up in the comments now. So anyone in this group, if you want to get in touch with Mary-Anne, as you have just heard, she knows her stuff. She's been through it herself, and she knows her stuff when it comes to health and nutrition. So thank you, Mary-Anne, for joining us today. It's been fascinating to listen to what I said. I'm sitting here, I've been enthralled.
And I told you at the beginning, I like talking. I like talking about myself. But yeah, for me, my mission is to help as many women, to empower women to take control of their health, because if they don't, no one else will.
Exactly. And you can feel your passion in that too. So once again, thank you so much, Mary-Anne, for joining us today.
No worries.
Amazing. All right, everybody, we will see you again in the group soon. Okay, bye-bye.